Let's do another leg of the road trip, shall we? Flying the Blackburn Beverley again from here at Work in Progress Ardmore, where you may have noticed not much has happened to it since we landed here a few days ago, and that would be because nothing new has happened to it since we landed here a few days ago. Got my two main scenery projects on the go at the moment, and I've been concentrating on the other one a little bit more recently. Yeah, Ardmore will get done eventually, but yeah, it's not a quick thing, so such is life. Right then, so Ardmore to Auckland today. Short enough distance. Well, we'll be crossing over Highway 1, so it does count as a leg in the series, although we're not really following it north today, as we're not particularly heading very far north. And I did just fancy landing at Auckland anyway. It's been a while since I have. Wind today, it's not much, but looking at the Traffic Global AI planes and what runway they're using, we're going to be flying past NZAA, make a turn over the bay and come back to it for a landing on 05, or technically 05 right, as I remember being interested enough to look that up once. And what is now taxiway Alpha running parallel to the single runway here, in 2009 satellite pictures, that taxiway was painted as a 05 left runway. By 2010, the next satellite picture, all the numbers, touchdown markings and all that kind of stuff had been removed, so that it is just a taxiway and has been ever since. And Auckland's now just a single runway airport, which leaves the question of, if 05 left has been removed, why didn't they then redesignate 05 right to be just 05? There is only one runway pointing in that direction now, so it doesn't need a modifier of being right, left, centre or anything else. Yeah, guessing there is a reason, but I've no idea what it is. Yeah, anyway, airfield over to our right. I think that is Highway 1, the brightly lit one down there. Yeah, as I said, not really following that today, as we need to circle over the bay. And looks like we might time this quite well. As on the map it's showing there is an aircraft inbound, then quite a big gap to the next one following it. So we can slot ourselves into that space just fine, I think. On the map you get different sized and shaped icons, and the one I'm looking at here, when you're flying in New Zealand, that's pretty much always going to be an Air New Zealand ATR, so guessing that's what this thing is which we're going to follow in. Might get to see the other aircraft too, because a few updates ago from X-Plane, the lights used by AI aircraft became brighter and more noticeable from longer distances. And as we're getting into twilight now, with the sun going down, you might get to see the AI traffic. Just crossing over that last bit of land, the one we'll be following, so might pop into view soon. Over here somewhere, and there it. That just came into view anyway. Yeah, certainly a few boats out in the bay. There's a stretch of water now known as the Bay of America, if you were to ask Donald Trump, I'm assuming. Yeah, so we'll continue our journey in this Blackburn Beverley America, make a right American turn before we get to the danger area of falling debris from whatever Elon has blown up today, and then make our approach into Auckland America Airport, landing on runway 05 America, and then go and park at the American stand. Yes, an ATR with Denzil on board. He recently worked out that he's actually more likely to get mugged in Auckland than he is in New York. Largely because he doesn't live in New York, but that's... Yeah, there's also Jarvis on board. He's currently looking for a new place to live, as he's now unexpectedly homeless. His last apartment, it was all going very well until the landlord's wife, who was 8 months pregnant, asked if he'd like to feel the baby. Apparently she meant from the outside. Yeah, the plane also is carrying Isabel, who's currently curious about what happens if you spill carpet cleaner onto a carpet. And there's also a guy on the flight called Washington. Yeah, he was named after the place where he was conceived. Yeah, he's going to Auckland to see his brother, Ali. But enough about that plane. Start making a gentle turn, and we can line ourselves up to come up their rear. I did think about using a different aircraft, Embraer 747 or something like that, to use all the avionics and do an ILS approach properly, as Auckland does have all the equipment installed to do that. But there's lots of other videos on the internet of people doing things properly, so that this is my usual flight by hand. If we're in the general area of the centre line and glide slope, near enough. Yeah, we can even line ourselves up with the 05 left. I will try and put it all together for the actual landing, but not going to be too fussed until the very end. Yeah, by the way, those aircraft nav lights you can see up in the air, they look a bit closer than they are actually. From the icons on the map, that's an airliner which has taken off and is therefore heading away from us, so it's nothing to be worried about for our flight. What I am slightly worried about, however, if you're a regular viewer, you know the kind of aircraft I usually fly, Baron, Islander, Yak, a few other GA kind of things, where the cockpit is a similar kind of height off the ground. In this thing we're sat significantly higher, so I'm going to have to try and set up a flare much sooner than my brain is used to or thinks I should be doing. So we'll see. It's okay in some of the more modern things where you get altitude countdowns and it's telling you 50, 40, 30. That becomes a lot easier to judge in, say, a 747. I'm fairly confident this plane hasn't got any of that, so hopefully it's got fairly robust suspension instead. Right then, let's start caring about where the centre line is now. Not too bad for the glide slope. Okay, pointing generally down the runway, so I think we're looking okay. ATR that was ahead of us, that's well off the runway now, so I think we're good for a landing. Doing okay. Just remember how high we are, Daz. And I think we did do exactly what I didn't want to do. Yeah, that was flying straight into the ground before it started to flare. At least we are aware now that Blackburn Beverley does indeed come with some fairly rugged suspension, which is nice to know, especially the way I fly it. Probably do need to fly it more to get used to the cockpit height before I start making good landings in this, or even acceptable standard of landings, because let's be honest, that one was a bit rubbish. Never mind. Yeah, I do quite like the plane, but it's just not the kind of thing you take into many of the smaller airstrips that I often fly to. So yeah, maybe one terrible landing excursion every couple of months. That's probably what it's going to stay as. Yeah, I think we've got some parking available up here, so we're going to have one of those spots at the terminal. And okay, you're not going to fit an air bridge to this thing, but we're still big enough to park at a gate, I think, so that will do. Got the old docking guidance things from X-Plane 11, which no longer work in X-Plane 12, unfortunately. That would be a nice little asset, I think, for X-Plane to produce, those docking guidance machines. Yeah, a little surprised they haven't, but, well, there you go. Right, and that would... oh, crap. Yeah, kind of forgot about the engine. That's not good, is it? No. Right, so arrived at Auckland. We may have damaged the landing gear. Probably did damage the leading edge of the wing, definitely destroyed another engine, and in what I believe may be a world's first for me, I've wrecked an entire air bridge. You may need to call maintenance out here, as I don't think Gate 4 is going to be used again anytime soon. I'll be going. I'll see you again next time. Yeah.